Hello. Good morning, everyone. I hope I'm audible. I hope I'm visible. I hope you all are able to see me. If you're able to see me, if you're able to hear me, just put a yes in the chat or just put a thumbs up in the chat. So I'll be able to know whether you all are able to hear me or see me. I am reading the comments as well. So, yeah, we'll just wait for a few seconds for people to join and then we can start with the session. I'll tell you what the agenda is for today. And if I'm, please let me know whether or not I'm clearly audible. Um, if I'm audible, if I'm not audible, just let me know whether I'm audible or not. Okay. Cool. So, what is the agenda for today? So, the agenda for today is we learn to create a project, right? Um, an advanced project completely with vanilla JavaScript, adding APIs as well, right? Using APIs, using the best practices, everything that we have learned in the past 4 sessions, right? So there have been 4 sessions, right? So for everyone who has just joined now and who has no idea of what we're doing, so we at Geeks have basically come up with something called as these marathon sessions. So what's going to happen in these marathon sessions? So in these marathon sessions, basically we are going to do sessions on JavaScript, on React.js, and uh, Node.js, right? MongoDB, Redux, right? And all of these things, and even Next.js, TypeScript, Angular as well. So every Sunday we'll have these sessions where we'll be covering all of these things. So this is a fifth session, right? We've been doing this since the past 1 month. So we started with the basics of JavaScript. We did advanced JavaScript, right? And then we did async JavaScript. We did a basic project in JavaScript also. So we have been doing all of these things. Today is where we start with the advanced project in JavaScript, and then maybe from the next session next Sunday we'll start with React also, right? So if you have come for the first time, then you can be there on every Sunday, right? Every Sunday we do it from 10 a.m. to whatever time it takes, maybe 12:30, 1 p.m., right? So sessions usually are for 2 hours or 2.5 hours or maybe 3 hours as well. But there is a lot to learn, right? The focus majorly is on project building and everything, right? So yeah, so let's get started, right? What we are going to do today. Let's just see all of those things. Okay. So uh, cool. Yeah. And my name is obviously my name. My name is Prakash Sakari, right? So to give a short introduction about myself, I work as a software developer. I've been teaching, I think, since the past 7 or 8 years, and specifically, I've been teaching web development for the past 4 years. And obviously, I have a course on JavaScript. I have a course on React.js as well on Geeks itself. So you can find my course on React.js. You can find my course on Geeks for React.js and JavaScript as well. Okay. So let's get started. I'll be sharing my screen. Let me know if you're able to see the screen. Okay. And yeah, so let me just create a project folder. Okay. Just let me know if you're able to see the screen. Share screen. Share the entire screen. Okay. We'll talk about deployment also, how we can basically deploy the project as well. So just let me know if you're able to see the screen. If there's any lag also, please let me know if there's any lag in the screen or in the video or in the audio. Okay. So I've created a project folder, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create an index.html, right? And I'm going to create an index.js. and I'm going to create a style.css. Okay, cool. So in the index.html, I'm just going to create a basic HTML file, and the title I'll just write, let's say, ecom GFG. Okay. Okay. So now I'm just going to take an H1 and I'm just going to write ecom GFG. Okay. Just going to save this, and I'm just going to link the script tag also. I'm not writing anything as of for now, and we will also add Tailwind CSS also to this. Okay. So over here, I'm just going to add my index.js. Okay. Now I'm just going to click on go live so that this works. Okay, I'm going to just inspect my page. First, we will try to get the data from the API. We'll just do the job of API integration, and then we'll do all of the other designing and everything. So how do I do API integration, right? So in order to do API integration, over here I'll just need a dummy API. So I'll just search for dummy JSON. Okay, if I search for dummy JSON, I'll get this thing, dummy JSON, free fake REST API for placeholder JSON. Okay, so these are some free APIs, right? So you'll land up on this page. You can just click on read docs. Once you click on read docs, you'll get all of these things, right? On the right hand side, there are these different APIs for different features, right? You can use these for a lot of your projects, right? Like for the recipes. So if you, let's say if you want to create something like or for someone who wants to see a recipe of any food item, right? So of any dish, so you can use this thing, post and comment. So suppose someone wants to create an app like a Twitter or something like that, so you can use this. Or if you want to create to-dos, you can use these things, right? If you want to create e-commerce also, you can use these products and cards also. So there's this products. So let's click on products. So there are API to get a single product, to search products, to limit and skip products, sort products, get all product categories, uh, get products by categories, add a product, update products, delete products, right? And get all products also. So I want to get all the products. So if I click over here, so it gives me this thing, right? This API, and also gives me how I can fetch it. But we won't be using the fetch API. We'll just use async await. If I take a new tab and paste it over here, uh, just remove the inverted quotes. Then if I click on this, so I get the response in this way. Right? So this is the response, dummy JSON slash products. So this is the response that it gives me. It's an object which has products as the key, and then it has an array of a lot of products with a lot of things it has, right? It has images, it has the title, description, the price, and all of these things also, right? So first, let us try to get the data from this API, right? So how do we do it? So we'll go to index.js, right? So over here, I'm just going to write a comment which would say uh, uh, get data, get products data from dummy JSON, right? So over here, I'm just going to create a method called as const get products equals to, right? This would be an async method. Okay, so we have done this in the previous class, right, where we learned how do we do async await also, right? So this will be async method, and I'll just do const response equals to await, right? And I'll just write fetch, right? Wait fetch, and then I'm just going to use this dummy JSON, right? I don't want to use this dot then and dot catch. So I'll just copy this part and I'll put it over here, right? Fetch. So this basically, and then over here, if I just do a console.log of the products, so I'll get my products. Or if I do a console.log of the response, so I'll get the response. Okay. Let me just call this method get products whenever so basically whenever obviously my HTML is painted or my JavaScript file is basically loaded for the first time, I will get this response. So if I refresh this, so if you see when I log the response, I basically get the response in this way, right? What is this? This is also nothing but a response. This is nothing also but a promise, right? in the previous class when we were learning async await, right, we learned about promise, right, and we saw how we can also resolve or reject the promise, right. So over here, when I'm trying to fetch the data, it returns a promise, right? It is returning a promise, not returning the data. Now, since it is returning the promise, I want the data from this promise. So I can just write const data equals to, again, I'll just do await response. Okay, await response. And then let's say if I do a console.log of my data, console.log of my data, right? And I'll just do response.json, right? Await response.json. Now, if I have a look at my data, so if you see, if I refresh this, the data I get it in this way. It's an object which has products, which has a total count, which has skip and then limit also. What is the limit that I want? Okay, so there are 30 data, 30 items over here, right? And what all items are there, I don't know, right? I think there are, it has a lot of mixed items, so we can also create filters and everything with this. Okay. uh, okay. 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 So now if you see the data that I'm getting, it's a nothing but an object which has products. Let's say if I only want products, what I can do, instead of data over here, I can just do a destructure, right? I can just do a destructure and simply write products over here, right? And simply write products because I'm getting products. And over here, instead of data, I can just write products. So I'm just doing a simple job of destructuring. This also we have learned in the, I think in the advanced tutorials or in the advanced part of learning JavaScript, we learned this, right? Now, if I have a look at this, so I get an array, right? So my API work has been done, right? My API work has been done. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a global variable called as let products, or let products equals to an empty object, an empty array, right? And then over here, instead of destructuring this, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to write data, right? And then over here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write products dot push data dot products, right? Products dot push data dot products, and let me just log the, so I'll just do a console dot log of the products, right? After calling, and also before calling this. Okay, so if I log it, right, let me, so it is taking some time to load. um, let me refresh this again. uh, products dot push data dot products. Let me just do a console dot log of the data over here. Should have added it over there, or let's see it over here only. If we do a console dot log of the products here only. Okay, it is just pushing an array inside an array. So uh, okay, so what I'll just do is I'll just write products equals to dot 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 data dot products. Okay, yeah, so now I'm getting a proper array. Okay, cool. Okay, so the API part has been done, right? The API part over here is completely done, where I'm able to integrate the API also, right? But I'm getting the data also over here. Okay, let me still just do a console.log of the products. Okay, now what I want to do is from this data, obviously I want to create a UI. For the CSS part, what we are going to do is we're just going to use Tailwind CSS. Okay, so let's see how we can install this Tailwind CSS into Geeks for Geeks. Oh, sorry, into JavaScript, right? So let me just go to the docs and let me just see the installation. How do I install this, right? So installing it has a lot of steps, right? We do it in this way, right? Tailwind, install it by invite or configure it or import, right? So these are the steps that basically we'll have to um, follow in order to install this, right? But there is also another way to install this, right? Adding Tailwind to JavaScript in a very simpler way, but cool. Uh, let's try and do it in this way itself. SRC style sheet. Okay, okay, okay. Using Tailwind CLI. Yeah, cool. So there are different ways in which you can add Tailwind using White, using Post CSS also, right? And using Tailwind CLI framework guides, right? And then Place CDN also, right? But I don't think there is a need for all of these things. If you go to framework guide also, so it's all about the frameworks like Next.js and everything. You just go to Tailwind CLI. So we have to install this Tailwind, right? And okay, but I don't want to do all of those things, right? This we should, I think, this can be done when we're doing anything related to, let's say, React or something, right? Since it's a very smaller project, what I can do is we can just use Tailwind CSS. I just want its CDN. Okay, just want its CDN. Okay, so what we are going to do is we're just going to use a script. Okay, this CDN script we're just going to use. So what I can do is, so there are multiple ways, right? I can either use this Tailwind CLI, but I don't think this is that much required for now. So what I'll do is I'll just go with this CDN wala part, and I'll just copy this script as it says. Um, so it says use the Place CDN to try Tailwind right in the browser without any additional steps. The Place CDN is designed for development purpose only and is not intended for production, right? Since you're learning development, so this is not for production, it's only for development. Then it says add the Place CDN script tag to the head, right, of your HTML file and start using Tailwind utility classes to your style content, right? So let's see where does it go. So I'll just copy this script tag. We just have to put it inside the head of the HTML. So in the head of the HTML, I'll just put this after the title. Let me just put this script tag over here, right? And what else does it ask us to do? And then it will it's just saying that you try all of these things. So let's just try this part. Um I'll just take the class and I'll just put the class over here just to see whether this is working or not, right? So if I save this, if we go over here, so if you see it is working, okay, it gives me text 3XL font bold underline. Okay, now what is Tailwind CSS? So where everyone who does not need know what Tailwind CSS is, basically it's a framework which we can use to style our website without the need of writing a lot of CSS on our own. But the good part is that the good part with using Tailwind CSS is that uh, if you see over here also, the way it gives the classes, it's very simple, right? So over here we can add our own CSS also on top of Tailwind CSS also. So this is a very good part of Tailwind CSS, right? Why most of the people use Tailwind CSS, or I also use Tailwind CSS in a lot of my projects, right? In my production ready websites and production ready apps, I'm talking about those things, right? Why I use Tailwind CSS? Because I can also add my CSS on top of the Tailwind CSS also, because it just exposes all of these classes, right? So let me just give you an example. So for example, let's say if I just search for margin over here, right? So if you see over here, it gives me everything about margin. If I just click on show more, so it gives me the margin also, right? What all I have to use and how do I use all of these things, right? So yeah, so if you see flex over here, okay, I think they have changed a lot over here. Uh, Most of the things I think they have changed over here of flex, and then I think number or something that they're adding. Okay, cool. So let's start. So first, what we'll do is, firstly, since we know this is working fine, right? Because it's added over here in the project. So we'll start with the right project. So firstly, I'm just going to create a header, right? What all my header is going to have? It's going to have a search bar, right? And it's also going to have a wishlist button also, right? So firstly, I'll create a I'll have an h1 tag, right? So I'll just create a container which will have the heading. So I'll just have an h1 tag over here, right? And I don't think there should be a container for this part. So I'll just create an h1 tag. If you want to add an image, then basically you might be requiring a container for image on your header. Okay. So let's say I'll just write over here ecom gfg, right? And then let's say this also has a search bar. So I'll just add now I'll add a container over here, and it will be an input, right? And we'll write a placeholder over here, search an item, right? And then or let's say we are, instead of search an item, we can just write what are you looking for, something like this, let's say, right? And then let's say it will have a button also. So I'll just create a container and just write a button, which would be, let's say, wish list. So now I'm writing wish list. I'll just change it with an icon also. Okay, don't worry, I'll just change it with an icon. Okay, cool. So if you go over here, so we have something like this: ecom, what are you looking for? This is an input, and then a wishlist button also. So let's style this. So in the header, what I'm going to create, I'm just going to create a class, and this will be I'll just write flex over here, right? Why am I writing flex over here? So all of this styles is coming from here only. Okay, all of these styles are coming from here. So if I just want to uh, make this container, right? So if you see if I simply write flex, right? So it will just use display flex, right? So what does it do? It will automatically add the display flex over here. So if I just hover over here and just put over here, right? So if I go onto my header class, so if you see over here, it just takes flex, class flex, and display is flex directly. Okay, display flex. Cool. And let me just style the header for now, right? So to style the header, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to search for text over here. Okay. Let me just downgrade the version to some other version. So let's just go to 3.4, and let me just search for text right now, or font size. Yeah, cool. I've just downgraded the version for now, right? From 4, I'm just going to 3.4.7. Yeah. Okay. So over here, I'm just going to change the text size. So I'm just going to take this text to Excel. So this is quite easy for me to understand what I'm actually using. So if I let me also show you flex now. So this will be so if I write flex directly, so it will just do display flex. Okay, let me just do flex direction. So okay, there's no need for flex row and everything. Okay. So let me just search for font size now. So if I search for font size over here, so if you see, I have 3XL. Okay, font has 3XL. Okay. Let me just change the version and see what over here I have to change. Yeah. Okay. In this, since I'm downgrading the version, instead of 4, I'm just going to 3.4.17. Right. Let's say you are on version 4. Change the version to 3.4.17, and then go to the docs. And then if you see in the place CDN, you will see this part. So I'm just going to copy this wala script rather than the version 4. It's difficult for me to navigate in that version. I'm not able to also understand, and it will be difficult for you also to understand. So that's why I think it's better uh, try adding customize. There's no need for adding any customized things. Okay, it's still the same. Yeah, cool. So now I'm just going to change the font size. So to change the font size, okay. So let's just search for here over here as font size. So if I'm just going to search for font size, so it is text 2XL. So let me just copy this text 2XL, right? And let me just put text 2XL over here, right? So if I have a look at this part, so if you see the font size is increased for this thing, e-commerce, right? Let me close this. Okay. For this, let me add a background color also. So to add a background color, what I'm going to do is over here in this, let me just close these things, right? So over here, I'm just going to search for background color, right? And then I can take any background, whichever I want. Uh, I'm just uh, I'm just planning to have a very uh, gray and black sort of a thing, right? So this background color, what I'm going to do is, so I'm not going to add any background color to the header. I'm just going to add a background color to the entire body, right? So I'll just take, yeah. So for the entire body, okay. So I'll just go over here in the style.css. I'll just link this CSS also. So I'll just write link CSS would be this style.css. So I'll just take the body, right? And I'll just do a background color of hashtag FA, right? So I've been telling you all this since a long time that your website should not be completely white and completely black also. Okay, cool. So let's come back over here, and I'll add a text color also to this part, right? So let's say I'm just going to go over here, and the text color, I don't want it to be completely black, right? So okay, let's just go to the text color. So I don't want it to be completely black, right? Or completely white, right? So we'll just take this part, text slate 950, I think. Uh, Not text gray or neutral or something like that. So over here, I'll just put text slate, right? And then to this, I'll just have a border also. So I'll just write border, right? And I want to add a border bottom. So I'll just add border bottom, right? Or yeah, just search for border. I'll just search for border width. Yeah. So if I search for border width, so it gives me the border width. So it gives me everything, border top and bottom and everything. So I just want the border bottom, right? Border bottom width. So I'll just write border be 2. I'll just want it to be 2 pixels for this header, right? And I also want a border color also. So I'll just go to the border color, and I'll take the border color. I just want it to be a little grayish, right? So I'll just take this part. I think I'll just go with gray 400, border gray 400, and then we can change it from 400, 200, 300, 500, whatever I want. Okay. So yeah, instead of border bottom BR2, let me just take it to be BR1. Yeah, this looks much better. Cool. Okay. I just want to add some padding also. So I'll just add py dash, let's say 3. So py basically means top and bottom padding. So instead of 3, let me just go to 2, right? I'll also add px6. So it is padding on the left and the right, right? Cool. What I also want to do is I just want to bring everything to the center, right? Or I want to add equal spaces between all of them. So I can also, if I just go to flex, right? So over here, there will be justify content. So I want to add space between them. So if I just do justify center, I'll just take this justify center and add inside the header over here. So it will, okay, so, okay, obviously it is going to bring everything at the center. I don't want everything at the center, but I just want to add gaps, or let me just say I just want to increase this. Okay, so I'll just use a flex grow over here. Okay, I'll just use a flex grow. So I'll just write grow for this header, for this h1. I'll just write grow. So if I write grow, so if you see the search bar is coming over here on the left hand side, right? So for the search and for this button, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add them inside one single container, the search and this button, and I don't need these things over here. And for this container also, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give flex, and I'm just going to add a gap. So let's say if I add a gap of 4. So what is a gap of 4? So you can just search over here. You can just search for gap. You'll just see gap, right? So if I add gap 4, so it creates a gap of 1 rem. Okay. I've used this before also. You can write gap 5, 6, and anything. So it will create that number of gap over here. Okay. So this is the input. We'll see how we can also style the input also, right? So I want to style the input also, right? So what I'm going to create is for the input also, I'm just going to create some borders, right? So I'll just say class, right? So I'll just write border. I'm just think it's border only. Yeah. So if you see there is a border, right? And then I will just want to add a color also. So I'll just write border gray of 400. So if you see, I want to also round the edges also, right? So I'll just add a border radius. So I'll see how we can add a border radius. So if we go here border and then we just search for border radius, so you'll see there is rounded everything, right? So I'll just take this rounded 3XL, I don't know how it will turn up, but we'll see how it turns up. So we'll see. Okay. So it is turning up good, and I want it in this way only. And I'll add some padding. So let's say px3. So we're adding some padding also, right? Yeah. Okay. Now when it is in focus also, then I don't want it to turn like this, right? And I'll just change the text size also. So just write text dash sm, right? So it's a smaller text, right, rather than a very big text. And when it is in focus, so you can also use pseudo classes also. So let's say if I just search for focus over here, right? So it also gives me focus also. So when it is in focus, then I do not want anything, right? So I want the outline to be none. So I'll just write focus. Let me just write focus, right? Whenever I think it's in focus, so I'll just write the outline should be none. So I'll just take outline none. That outline none basically means whenever the input is in focus, then I don't want any outline over there. I basically don't want any highlight over there, right? So there is this input over here on the right hand side, right? E-commerce is over here. The search is on the right hand side. There is this wish list button over here. If we want to add more gap over here, we can add more gap also. So let's say gap of six or eight. Or if you want to increase the uh, width of this also, right? Let's say if you want more width, so instead of px3, let me just add px6 over here, right? Or this would be PL would be, let's say 3, but PR would be 6. So PL is padding left and PR is padding right. Okay, so I can write whatever I want to write over here. If you want to increase the width, so let's say if you want to increase the width, you can search for width, right? You can search for width and you can write whatever width you want. So let's say you want a width of 60. So we can write over here W dash 60. So if I make it a width of 60, so to look something like this, okay, a very wider one. So this looks much better also, right? Cool. This is the wishlist button. So let's see how we can style the button also, right? So if I just click on buttons, okay. So if you see there are these buttons also, it just gives me the proper buttons, but I don't want it in that way. I'll just go to flat icon and I'll just download a button for wishlist. Okay. So I'll just search for wishlist over here. I don't think I just need to go to. I just go to what we say, Google Fonts. Okay. If I just go to Google Fonts, it will also give me icons as well, right? So I can use the icons from Google Fonts as well, right? So what I can do is over here, I'll just go to icons over here, right? Instead of material symbols, I just use material icons over here, right? And yeah, so I'll just search over here for instead of wishlist, I'll just search something for favorite. So it will give me this favorite one. So I can either download it or I can either install it, right? So there are two ways: you either download it, right, or you either install it. But I don't want to actually download it, right? What I want to do is I just want to install it. So for this, I'll also require its what you say, its installation as well, right? Because it just gives us a span tag. So let's say if I just copy this code, right, and then instead of button, if I put it over here, right, span, and if I go and see, so it will just write favorite over here, right? Because you have not done the part of installation. So over here it just says follow instruction to embed the code, right, and how to style and everything, right? So what I'm going to do is, so see, it just gives me the first step. The easiest way is this part. Obviously, I'm just going to go with that only. So let me just copy this link, right, and I'll put it over here, right? Post my CSS is loaded. I'll just put it over here. Let me save this. So just material icons, right? If I go and search over here, it's still favorite. Why it's still favorite? Because over here I'm using material icons outlined. So over here material icons plus outlined I have to write, right? So now if you see, it becomes in this way, a proper button, which is black in color. We can change the color also, right? There's darne ka nahi bilkul bhi. We can change the color also. So what is the color that we want? So we just write text slash gray dash, let's say 400. So which you see the color has also changed, right? In order to change the color, okay, we can't write background color since it's a span tag. See, it's a span tag. So there's no need to write any background or something like that, right? Since it's a, what is it? It's a span tag, obviously. So we have to just change the text color, right? So if I change the text color, so I change it in this way, right? Gray 400. I don't want it to be gray 400, so let's just make it gray 700 or whatever it is. So yeah, it's over here, right? If I click on this, so now it looks like a proper wishlist button, right? I will also align them also. So I'll just write align dash center. I just want to align the items in a very proper way. So if you just search for align items, so okay, it is item center. It is not align center. So it is item center. So instead of align center, I'll just write over here items center. So I'll save this. Okay. So it works in this way, right? And it looks proper also, right? Okay, let me just remove this item center. Doesn't look good. Okay, cool. So it looks much better. So the header part is done. Now moving towards these products part, right? The product that we've actually created. Okay. Okay, cool. Now let's create the cards. Okay. So since it's an e-commerce thing, we just have to create some cards. What I'm going to do is, since I'm done with the header over here, okay, I'll just create a main tag over here. Okay, I'll just create a main tag over here, and from this main tag, okay, from this main tag, what I'm going to do is uh, I'll just create a class name as, let's say, uh, products container. Okay, products container. So, or I'll just give it an ID equals to the same thing, products container. Okay. So now here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get everything, right? I'm just going to start with accessing the elements. So I'll just write over here const um, products container equals to document dot get element by ID, and then the ID, which is products container, right? Let me save this. So this is the only thing that I require, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do the job of creating the card. Okay. Once we just do get products, what I'm going to do is my job over here is just to create the cards. Okay. So what how do I create the cards, right? So I'll just create a method called as const creating cards. Okay, creating, or I'll just write over here a method called as products card. Okay, products card equals to, so this will basically take the products. Okay, this will basically take the products. Okay, now there are multiple ways in which we can do it. Okay, there are multiple ways. So whenever I'm going to get the products, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to call this method. Okay, let's say I'm just going to call this method products card, and then call products with this product card, right? And if I just do a simple console.log of this products, so obviously I'm just going to get the products over here. Okay, so if I inspect over here, so if you see, I'm just getting an array of 30 elements. Okay, inside here, over here in the products card, right? Since I know I'm just going to get the array over here, what I can do is I can simply do a for each for this part, right? In order to render this, I can simply do a for each over here. So what I can do is I can firstly what I'm going to do is every time I'm just going to clear this products container.html whenever this is called. So I'll just do products container dot inner HTML equals to an empty string. First, I'll just clear this. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say for each, right? For each. So, and this will happen on this products array. Products array, products dot for each, and then I'll just say product, right? Now I'm just going to create my product, right? So I'm just going to say create. Firstly, I'm just going to create. I want to create a card, right? So I'm just going to say const uh, card element, or I'll just say product card element equals to document dot create element, document dot create element, and then it would be what? It would be a container, right? So I just have to imagine what I have to do. So I'm just going to create a container. In the container, then basically there will be, firstly there will be an image, then there will be the title, right? And then let's say there will be rating, and then there will be price. So I have to create all of these things, right? So then I'm just going to create const, let's say product image element equals to document dot create element and image element. Okay, but this image has to also go inside a container because I have to create a responsive design. So I'll just say const image container equals to, again the same thing, document dot create element or div container. Okay, so here I'm just going to write a comment, so which will be creating image. Okay, image container, and then what I'm going to do over here is I'm just going to do image container dot append child this product image element. Okay, and then I'm okay, so this is, and then I'm going to also add this inside the product container. So I'm just going to write product card element dot append child the image container. Okay, so the image and image container is gone. Okay, the for this thing is gone. Now what I want to do is, now what I, so let me also write a console log of product over here. So I know every data that I want to do, console log of what? Products. Okay, now the image that I'm creating, it also this, there should also be the source, right? So I'll just do image dot, right, sorry, product image element. So I'll just do product image element, and I'll just do a dot, and I'll see what all elements, what all things I have, right? So if you see over here, I have all of these things. Okay. I think just if I write this dot src equals to, I can just append the URL. Okay, so I just don't want to add the URL. I just want to add the key, right? So the key for image over here is just nothing but this thumbnail. Okay, so I'll just copy this thumbnail because there are multiple images, but I do not need all of these images from the array. I'll just use this thumbnail. Okay, I think both of them are same only, right? Yeah. So over here, I'll just do, it will be product dot thumbnail. Okay, the source will be product dot thumbnail. I will also add an image, so I'll just write product image dot alt equals to. So what the alt would be the name, right? So over here, there should be a name also. Is there a name that it has? It has title. So I'll just write over here product dot title. Okay, so let me see what does it do now. Okay, so if I refresh this, okay, yeah, so obviously then all of these things, that this basically the card that I'm basically adding, the image, the products card element, right? These things basically also have to go inside this main container, this products container. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see, right, products container dot append child, and then I'm just going to write this products card element. Okay, so if you see, it just creates multiple images, right? All the images are there. Obviously, it does not have any style or anything like that, right? So if you see over here, it does not have any style, right? Firstly, what I'm going to do is in this products, I know this products card. So over here, I'm just going to give it a display flex, and let's say a gap of, let's say 2, and I'm also going to write flex wrap. Okay. Uh, how do I do wrap? So let's say wrap, no, flex wrap. So I'll just write flex and flex wrap. So it is flex hyphen wrap. So I'll just do over here a flex hyphen wrap and save this and come over here. So it is, if you see, there are all of these which are created, but the image size is too big. So I don't want the image size to be this big, right? So what I'm going to do is, obviously I can just add some classes that I just want to add. So I'll just do product image element dot classless dot add. Then I can add multiple class over here. So I want the height and the width, right? So I go and check over the width and the height. So let's say I'm just going to check the width. So let's say I want the width to be only 144 pixels. So I'll just take w hyphen 36, right? Let me just see what happens if I do. Yeah, so this is a proper width. Okay, this is a, I think this is very good. I'm just doing w hyphen, but there are multiple over here. This also we can adjust. So let me just, instead of w36, let's make it a little bigger. So let's make it w44, let's say 44. Okay, so okay, w dash 44. Yeah, no, I don't. I will not add this over here, but I'll just add it to the image container. So I'll just do image container dot class list dot add, and I'll just do w dash 36 over here. And for this, I'll just use w dash full. Basically, full means 100%, right? So if you see over here, with full would be width of 100%. I'll, for this product container, product card element, I'll also add some borders also. So I'll just say product card element dot class list dot add. I don't want to add a border, but I just want to add a shadow. So I'll just create drop shadow. Okay, or such a zero shadow. So I'll just create a shadow. So let's say I'll just add a medium shadow for this. Let's just see what happens. Okay, yeah, so if you see, I'm added a shadow over here for all of these things, right? Let me add more gap over here, gap of 2. So let me just add a gap of 6 over here. Yeah, or a gap of, let's say, 8 over here. This is much better. And let me also bring this to the center also. Justify dash center, so everything comes at the center. I'll also add a margin top, so I'll just write empty 10. So there's a top margin. Okay, so I've added border, I've added a shadow to all of them, but I think instead of shadow I can just add a border also. That will actually look much better. So let me just add a border, and then we'll just take these colors only. This would be the border gray 400. So let me just copy this and put border gray 400 over here. So I'm just adding how do I add multiple classes? I think there was a way to add multiple class. Okay, border gray 400. Okay, let's see how to add multiple class. Add multiple class uh, JavaScript. So let's see how to add and remove multiple classes. Oh, so we just have to separate them by comma. Okay, cool. So if I have this over here, so, and then let me just put a comma. Obviously, I had forgotten this. I I don't remember this. That's why that was a goof up over there. And I just want it to be rounded also. So I'll just do comma rounded hyphen sm. So small. Okay. The border radius, let's say instead of hyphen, it would be lg. Okay. Yeah. Also, it looks much better. I think the width is quite small. I think we need to increase the width of the cards also, right? Yeah. And yeah, instead of yeah, this also should be width full only, right? And I'll add a width over here, w dash 44. Yeah. Ta-na-na-na-na-na. Yeah. And in the main container, let me also add some padding also. So I'll just add px6, right? So px6, and the width instead, I think we will require a bigger width. So I'll just go again back and search for the width. So let me just search for the width. So width would be, instead of width 36 or 44, I'll just go with 52. I was trying to juggle and find a proper width for my card. Okay, this is much better because we'll have to add the title and everything also. Okay, so now let's add the title also, right? So now I'm just going to create. I'll just do adding product details. So it will be the title. So we'll just first check const title equals to document dot create element, and I'll just take a paragraph tag, right? And I'll just do p dot inner text equals to product dot title, right? And then what I'm going to do is inside this product card element only, right? So I'll just do product card element dot append child, and I'll just add the title. Okay, so I why this collaborative document dot create element p. Okay, so this should be title. I've added product dot inner text. So title dot inner text. Yeah. So if you see we are getting the title over here, right? We'll have to change its font size. So I'll just do title dot class list dot add. So I'll just say text hyphen sm. Okay, and inside the entire card also have to give some padding. So I'll just do px of 1 or 2, I think, everywhere. So it is, yeah, padding of 2 everywhere. So this looks much better. Shadow around it, I think I can just do rounded medium. Okay, this looks much better, right? So there is title. So see eyeshadow and everything. I think this is also too much. So I just write s, or I think I'll have to do xs. Yeah, this is much better. The title, I'll change its color also. So I'll just write text hyphen gray hyphen 600. Cool. Now the title is done. Okay, so the product's title is done. Now I want its rating and I want its price also, right? So what I'm going to do is, and I'm just also going to make it bold also. So I'll just do text. Uh, let's see how to make it bold. So I'll just search for font weight. So it is font bold. So I'll just write font dash bold over here. This looks much better. Yeah. Okay. Text gray to be, let's say, 400. No, 600 is better. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create ratings and everything. So I'll just write const price equals to document dot create element. Okay, document dot create element, the paragraph tag, right? And then I'll just write price dot inner text is equal to, I want to see the price, so I have to go to the console and see what is the key for the price. So the key for the price is nothing but this price only. So it does not have any old price and new price. There's only this single price. So the price over here is 19.99. So I'll just take the price and I'll put the price over here, right? So I'll just write uh, product dot price, right? And then what I'm going to do is, obviously I'll just do product card element dot append child, and I'll just take this price, right? So this should definitely come over here. So if you see, the price is also coming. Obviously I want to add this class list, so I'll just copy this, let's put it over here, and this would be, let's say, 400, right? This would be price dot class list dot add. Okay, so this is the price, right? Or I think I'll just remove this text gray. Yeah, so let's just keep it, and let me just make it to be 800. Okay, cool. So the price is also over here. Let me just add a rupees ahead of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say I'm just going to add this dollar sign and add it inside this template literal, right? And let me just add a rupees. I'll just write rupees over here. So this is rupees, whatever it is, 19.99, whatever it is, right? Cool. Okay. Inside this products card element, I will also add a display flex also. So I'll also add a display flex, and obviously the direction is going to be column. So I'm just going to add flex dash call, and I'm just going to add a gap also. So I'll just add a gap, let's say of 2. Okay, let me just do an alt Z. Yeah, gap 2 is way too big. I'll just add a gap of 1. Okay. Now on the rating also. So the rating I'll add it over here only with this thing only. What I'm going to do is, the way there is price, let me just copy paste this. Instead of price, let me just make it rating. Okay, rating. Okay, and then this would be rating dot inner text. So I'll have to see for the rating. I think it was rating only. Yeah, it is rating over here only. Okay, so product dot rating, I'll just add over here. So I'll just see what is the rating. So I'll just do rating and dot class list, and then all this thing. Okay, so it is obviously I have to remove this rupees from here. Okay, and then this is 3.28. Okay, but I want both of them to come one next to each other, right? So for that, what I can do is a very simple way is, I, instead of paragraph tag, I could have also used a span tag, right? So if I use a span tag, then both of them will come one next to each other. Should have come one next to each other, but yeah, because both of them are span tags. What is it doing? It's a span tag over here. It's a span tag over here. So why both of them are coming, not coming one? Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is, I can just create a container also. So const, let's say price container, price rating container equals to, again the same thing. It would be the same thing, document dot create element, and then we are just going to create a container, right? And then I'm just going to add price, this price container dot classless dot add, and then I can add multiple class. I'm just going to add a flex, and I'm just going to add justify hyphen between. Okay, and over here I'm just going to add both of them. I'm just going to add the price container dot append child, this price. So I'll add it before this, and then there's no need to add this products container element, right? And over here also I'm going to add price container dot append child, the rating, and then in the product card element I'm just going to append my price container. Okay, so if I save this, so it is coming like this with the rating and everything, right? I don't think justify between is a good option. So let me just add a gap of let's say 4. Now I also want a rating sign over here. So what I'm going to do is, again I'm going to go to this material icon, and then I'm just going to search for see, star is directly over here. So let me just copy this star, right? Let me just copy this code and put the star over here, somewhere over here, right? So over here with the rating, what I can do is with the text also, what I can do is, I just don't want the simple text, just be the paragraph tag. Let it also be paragraph tag over here. So what I'm going to do over here is, I'm just going to add this span also, right? So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to do rating dot instead of inner text, I'm just going to rating dot inner HTML is equal to this span, and I'm just going to put this in a string over here. Right, let me just comment this one now. So if you see, it should give me this star, right? Now I also want the text with this, right? So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to use template literal, yeah, and then over here I'm just going to add this part. Okay, so if you see, I get the proper rating. Okay, sort of inner text, I've just used inner HTML right now, right? But then for this, again I'll need to add a class of flex also. So I'll just add a class of because if you see, it's not properly aligned, so in order to align it properly, I can use flex, and then I can just use items dash center. So both are aligned properly. I also have to reduce the font size of this. So I'll just write text over here, and then this text gray also. You can save this. Okay, cool. I'll also add some gap over here. So I'll just add a gap of, let's say, 1 over here. I can also change the color. So let's say you don't want this color and you want some other color. So you can just obviously go and search for color, text colors. And then let's say instead of, let's say if you want to add some yellowish type kind of a thing, let's say this color. So let's say text yellow 500. So let me copy this. And if I paste it over here, so obviously it becomes for the span, if I paste it, so it becomes text yellow. So you get the rating also. Star is so rupees price is this, and then the rating is also this. In this container where you have created, we can also add a py also. So I'll just add a py. So py is top and bottom. So let me save this. So overall this can be, instead of px and py, we can just take padding -2. So it'll add a padding of 2 everywhere. Okay, 2 would be obviously some pixel that we have to check. So this is our what we say. This is a product listing page. Okay, this is a product listing page with this image, and then let's say this whatever it is, this mascara, and then this rupees, and then this rating also, right? Now what you can do is you can create a lot of things over here, right? And okay, let's add a button also, so that we can also add it to this also, wishlist also. So I'll just write creating button. Okay, a wishlist button. So I'll just create a container over here. Okay. So I'll just write const button element equals to document dot create element, and then this would be a container. Okay, or let me just directly do a button itself. It would be a button, and then I'll just do button element dot inner text. Okay, instead of button element, this would be, let's say, wishlist button. Okay, instead of button element. So I'll just say wishlist button element dot inner text equals to, I'll just write over here add to wishlist. Okay, and then instead of only this part, we can do it in this way only. Okay, so yeah, I will just add a button dot inner HTML over here. Okay, I'll just copy this part, and I'll just do instead of rating, I'll just do wishlist button dot inner HTML. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this favorite, this span from here. Okay, I'll just copy this favorite, and instead of this star, this will be favorite, and there's no need for this part, product ratings part. And so yeah, so let me save this, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say product card element dot append child, and then this wishlist btn. So if I save this, so okay, so I'm just getting a button in this way. Okay, should also have text also. So over here we're just going to write add to wishlist. Save this. Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, and this should actually look like a button. So we'll just try to make it like a button, right? And yeah, so what I'm going to do over here is I'm just going to say wishlist button dot classlist dot add. Okay, so I'm just going to add a background color. So I'll just write bg dash gray dash 400. So let me save this. Okay, or let me just make it 600, right? I'll just change the text color also. I just don't want this to be text yellow. Okay, I'll just change the text color also. So I'll just write over here comma text hyphen, and I'll just add a custom color which is completely white. Yeah, cool. Okay, and then I'll also add some outline also to the button. So I'll just do rounded. I just don't want the edges to be so sharp, so rounded MD I'll just do, or instead of rounded MD I'll just make it rounded SM. Okay, cool. So yeah, and then I just want to add this text access also over here. Okay, adding it to wish list. uh, Let me add text access. Instead of access, I'll just make it SM. Okay, add to wish list. So this also should have a display flex, so I'll just write over here as flex. And I'll just do items hyphen center, and I'll just do some gap also. Let's say a gap of, let's say, 2. Okay. Okay, so I'll just do width dash full. Oh, flex item center. uh, just do justify center. Okay, cool. Looks much like a proper button. Yeah, so everything is properly added, right? And if I hover over it, then I can add some CSS also. So let's say if I hover over it, then let's say it should the color should change or something should happen. So I can also add a pseudo class also to this. So what I can do is I can just write over here. So if I hover over this, right? If I hover over this, I just want to do bg dash gray dash 200. Okay, so if I hover on this, so if you see, it is changing. Instead of 200, let me make it 400. So it is. So if you see, so this is much better, right? So if I hover on this, so I think it's clickable. You can add it to the wish list also. Something or something other can basically happen. Okay, so this is our entire products card, product listing page that we have created, right? And let's also, so if you see, if I scroll down, so it is something like this. So let's add some padding bottom to the main container. So I'll just go to this products container, and I'll also add a padding bottom. So p pb pb hyphen 10. Okay, you can also create a footer also. The way you have created this header, you can also create a footer, and you can write your name. You can add it to GitHub, and wherever you want to add it, you can do all of those things. Okay. Okay, this will obviously take a lot of time for us to do. So what we'll do is we'll do it part by part, right? So we'll take a break. Okay, we'll take a break of 5 to 6 minutes, and then we'll come back after the break. Okay, so uh, okay, or no, not now. We'll just take a break after at 11:30. We'll take a break. Okay. So now what we are going to do is we're just going to do for the search bar. So whatever I'm going to search, what should happen? Whatever I'm going to search, I should only get those cards only, and the search basically would be based on the title. Okay, the search would be based on what? The title. Whatever I'm able to see. Okay. Now the good part is that if you see in the console, if you see in the console over here, there are a lot of things inside this, right? You can add a lot of things. You can add a category also, right? You can add um, the reviews also. Okay, so by using stock, you can also specify whether this is filling fast or not, right? Or let's say only 5 items remaining. Okay, so you can add all of these things also, right? You can also add the tags also. What are its tags, right? It comes in beauty, okay, mascara, and everything. So you can add all of these things also, right? So yeah, let's try to add these tags also. So for example, let's say if I want to, or let's say let me write the logic for uh, the stock one. Okay, so let's say I want to specify that only fewer items are remaining. Okay, only fewer items are remaining, or only 5 items left in stock. Okay, or 3 items left in stock, or something like that, right? So what we are going to do is for uh, for items. Okay, so let me just see the stock. 68. किसी का है क्या जिसका stock कम है? 95. Okay, so only one item has the stock, which is 5. So let's say if the stock is less than 10. Okay, or if the stock is less than 10, so we can just, or if the stock is less than equal to 5, we'll just specify that how many items are remaining in stock. Okay, so what we are going to do is after this title, after this title, right? Before after before adding the product details, okay? Or yeah, I think yeah, before adding the product details after the image container, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create an element, okay? So I'll just say const, or I'll just add a condition over here. If product dot stock is less than or equal to 5, the product dot stock is less than or equal to 5, then what we'll do is then we'll just say const const uh, let's say stock label equals to document dot create element, and I'll just create a span tag over here. So only if the stock, if for any product the stock is less than or equal to 5, then only we are going to do this. And then I'm just going to do stock label dot inner text is equal to dot inner text equals to this stock. So I'll just write product dot stock, okay, product dot stock, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to append this also. So product card element dot append child this stock, okay. So if you see number 5 is coming over here, right? So we'll I'm not just going to do it plain, it's in a simple way, something like this, but I'm just going to say uh, the dollar sign, and what was it? It was product dot stock, okay. And then I'll just say only, so this would be 5 items remaining, okay. Only, let's say 5 items remaining. So if I see it, so it says only 5 items remaining. Obviously I'll add some class to this, so I'll just do stock label dot classlist dot add, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say text hyphen gray, or instead of gray I'll just take some red color. So I'll just take text red, let's say 500, text hyphen red 500. So if you see, right, great. And I'll just say text dash XS, right, a very smaller font, XXS if it's there, right? No, it is not there, so I can just write a custom pixels. I'll just write text hyphen text dash, I'll just write 8 pixels, or let's say 10 pixels, okay? So 8 pixels is way too less, so I'll just write 10 pixels. Obviously this will be also way too less, yeah. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just also going to add a border also to this. So I'll just write bg text from 200, sorry, bg not text hyphen 200, bg red, okay, bg red. And the width would be the max content, so I'll just write w dash max, width would be max content, right? And I'm just going to add some padding, so I'll just do px dash 2, and I'm just going to add a border, so I'll just do rounded rounded dash 3xl. Cool, so it looks much better now. Px2, I'll just write px, or let's write pl dash 1, yeah. So it looks much better right now. It should be px only, px dash 1, okay. Cool, so it looks much better. pl dash 1, and then I'm going to do pr dash 2, okay. So this looks much better, only 5 items remaining, so yeah, cool, okay. Okay, and for this product details also, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add all of these things inside a container, because this has changed, right? This has become up and down, so I'm just going to add them also inside a container. So I'll just say const product details equals to same thing, this document dot create element, right? And this would be a container, and then this would be product details dot class list dot add, and this will be margin top auto. So I'll just do empty dash auto, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add everything inside this product details only. This instead of product card element, I'm going to add this title, and this inside this product details, and then I will also add this also inside the products detail, and then I'm going to do product card element dot append child, and then I'm just going to add this one product details. Okay. Okay, let me just inspect this. Inspect. Okay, so let me take any card. Should be empty auto, margin top auto. Okay, so if you see now it works fine. So I've just added everything in all of the details inside one container, and I've just given margin top auto. So margin top auto will push it to the down at the bottom. Okay, cool. So this looks much better. Only 5 items remaining, right? So wherever it is over here, also only 3 items remaining, right? So I think wherever it is, we will be able to see that how many items are remaining, and this also I think I can give it a flex, and let's say a gap of let's say 2 flex, and then this also should be flex call. Where did it go? It's over here. So flex, and then I'll also change the direction to be flex hyphen call. Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. Over here also, okay. Only one items remaining. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply search. Okay. So how do I apply search? Okay. Let's take a break now. Uh, it's been 11:17. Let's take a break, and then we'll come back after the break. Then we'll apply search, and we'll also see how we can add an item to the wish list also. So I'll just write over here timer for. I'll just take a break of let's say 8 minutes. Let's say we'll just take a break for 10 minutes. Just come back after 10 minutes. Okay. Okay, so I'm back. Um, Thank you for being there. Thank you for staying. Okay, cool. So let's move ahead. What are we looking for? We're looking for the search part, right? So if I search anything from this text, I should be able to search it, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to over here. Obviously, I'm just going to get the product. I'm just going to get the element first. So I've get this input over here. It says what are you looking for? I'll just create an ID over here called as, let's say, search hyphen input. Okay, I'll just create an ID called as search. There's no need for search hyphen input. Obviously उससे समझ में आ ही जाता है कि भाई सर्च करने वाला कुछ तो. So const. I hope I'm audible. Um, Let me just see. Mic unmute है. ठीक है. Okay. So const, let's say search equals to document dot get element by ID, and then it would be search. Okay. So what I have to do is I have to just use my on the change. So I'll just write const, or sorry, I'm just going to do search dot add event listener, right? So on the search, I'm just going to add an event listener, which would be input. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the event over here, and I'm just going to first log the event dot target dot value. I'll teach you a very beautiful concept called as debounce over here. Okay, I'll teach you a very beautiful concept called as debounce. What do we do with debounce? Okay, event नहीं इधर e लिखने की जरूरत है मुझे. You write e, you write event anything. See what I'm just doing. I'm just searching whether whatever I'm writing, I'm getting it or not. Okay, okay. Now based on this input, what I need to do is based on this input, I need to do my search. So whenever the user is searching, right, what I'll do is, okay, so I'll just say const searched searched value equals to, so I'll just create a variable called as search value equals to e dot target dot value. Okay, so this is my search value. Now based on this search value, I have to do my filter, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this products array, and I'm just going to say products equals to products dot filter, products equals to products dot filter, right? And obviously, so everything in the title, so I'll just take product, right? I have to match it with the title, right? So I have the title. If we do the log over here, we check the log, so obviously we have the title, so I have to match it with the title, right? Now matching can be done in multiple ways. Okay, whenever you're typing anything in the search box, right, you can do matching in multiple ways, right? Finding text in multiple ways. You can find what value one should be value. You can find text based on characters, right? For example, if your character has any value over here, it has, let's say, A, B, C, D. So if your title has any text that you're putting, so it should just give you that text, right? Let's say if you have added A, so every product, okay, every product's title which has the character A, I want to see those products. If I write DA, so every product which has DA together in its title. Okay, so for example, let's say this is lash. So let's say if I write A, so this product has A inside its title, so it will give me that thing. Let's say if I write LA, so this product also has LA inside its title, so it will give me only this one. This does not have LA, so it won't give me this one. Okay, so this is one way. Other way is called as substring, right, where you keep on matching it from the first one. So if if it starts with E, so not substring, starting with, right? So there is something called as start with also, right? So if you go and search in MDN, if you write start with MDN, okay, starts with MDN, so it will give you this thing, starts with, right? So basically, what I'm doing over here is, so let's say if I use starts with, okay, so it will, so if I, let's say if I write A, so it won't give me these elements, because these product elements are not starting with A, it's starting with E. Only if I write E, then only it will start giving me all of these things. So there is start with also. Generally we do not use start with, we just use this one only to find a character if it is existing in the title. So I'll just write over here, I'll just do product dot title dot, I'll just convert it into lowercase, why am I converting this into lowercase? We'll first see that also. So product.title.includes method. So I'll use the includes method of the string, right? So I'll just say includes, and then string, and then mdn. Okay, so I'll just take this includes method of the string. Okay, includes here, string dot includes, right? So what does it say? So see, it's sentence dot includes. So I'll just say if the string includes this word, okay, whatever word it is passing, fox or something like that. So here also I'll say if the product dot title dot includes this search value. Okay, so I'm just doing a filter. So if the products dot includes the search value, then only you give me the products. Okay, so we'll just do a console.log over here. Console.log of the products. Okay, console.log of what? The products over here. Okay, or let's say I'll just write over here filtered products. Okay, let me copy this and let me put it over here as filtered products. So it would be const filtered products. Okay, so if we go here, we have this is my original products ka log. So if you see over here, this is my original products ka log. Now I want the filter products also. Let me just comment this for now. So I do not have any products ka log. But if I write over here E S, sorry, E, okay, let me clear this again. If I write E S, see now if you see the array is limiting. Okay, ES, okay, ES. So it is just giving me everything which has ES. So ES is for this essence, and then ES is for this eyeshadow. Okay, right? If I write over here, let's say only P, so only all the things which has P inside it. So let's say red lipstick, inside the title, apple, and then this green bell pepper, green chili, all of these things. Okay, it's giving me that only. Okay, cool. Okay, but now if you see, it does not give me this one, this essence mascara, sorry, oh yeah, essence mascara lash princess. ये वाला नहीं दे रहा मुझे. It does not give me that thing. Why? Because it is matching with only the lowercase p, but this is uppercase p, right? So let's say if I write capital P over here, so then it gives me only all of these things which matches the capital P. Now see, so there are so many things with P: nail, red nail polish, green bell pepper, green chili pepper. Oh, भाई साहब, so many beauty things. यो सर ये तो vegetable होगा. Okay, so lash princess and palette mirror. So when I do capital P, it's giving me all of these things, but when I do lowercase p, it's not giving me those things. It's giving me the other things, right? So I don't want it in this way, right? So what I actually want is it should cater all the p's, lowercase, uppercase. So that's why I have to convert this title to lowercase. So I'll just write products.title dot to lowercase. So I'll convert the title internally into lowercase. On the UI, it's not going to change. So I'll just convert this into lowercase and then check with the search value, because search value, and I will convert the search value also into lowercase. So I'll just do whatever value is there over here, I'll just convert this into lowercase. So both of them would be in lowercase. Okay. So now if I write P, so if you see, it gives me all the things. If it is lowercase p, it gives me everything, right? Princess, palette, powder, this, that, and everything. So all, okay. And if I write capital P, again, it's giving me all the things. Okay. Cool. Is there a need to convert this into lowercase? Write P over here. Obviously. Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do is on this only, whenever the value is being searched, then what I'm going to do is I'm again going to call my products card. So I'll just say products card, and then I'll call this with this filtered products. Okay. So I'm obviously, because it has to render and create new cards, right? It has to render and create what? It has to render and create new cards. So again, I'll call the same product cards with now the filtered products. So let me refresh this. So now it gives me everything because I'm not searching for anything, right? But let's say if I write over here as P, okay. So if you see, it has reduced now, right? Or let's say if I just write green over here, so it's just giving me the green bell pepper and green chili pepper. If I remove it, okay, if I remove everything, so it gives me all the remaining things. Okay. Okay. So if I just search for eye, so it gives me this eyeshadow palette mirror. Okay. Or if I just search over here for, let's say, mascara, so it gives me this mascara. Okay. Some powder, so it gives me this powder. Okay. If I just search for red, so it gives you red lipstick, red nail polish, and whatever it is, right? So it's working fine. Okay. But over here, what I also want to do is over here, see what the problem over here is, that every time, basically, every time I keep on searching something, it will basically keep on calling this method, right? Right. Even if I write, so if I do a console.log over here, console.log of, let's say, I'll just write one over here. If I write a, this method is called, right? If I write, let's say, green, then this method is called. So every time this method is being called, it's not a good thing. Okay. So it is also about the, okay. So see, this is one part. Okay. The other, so this is because I don't want to render it so many times. There's no need to rendering it so many times. Okay. And yeah, over here, yeah. And then this also has, so this is one way, and this also has a search API also. So if you see, there is something called a search product. So what I can do is, we can also search a product also, right? But when we search the product, how are we searching the product? We are basically searching it based on a parameter, which is, I think, based on what? Based on the category, or based on what? Um, Q is phone. Which documentation is actually limit and skip. So for the search also, we can add an API. Obviously, we should add an API. Okay. Uh, let's see what does it give us. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, whenever the user is doing a search now, so this is one way. So this is local search. Okay. What a good thing. This is local search. We are searching locally. Now let's say you don't want to search locally, but you want to search based on whatever the user is adding, whatever prompt the user is adding. So now let me just see, if we just see the console.log the products, let's just try to understand what is it searching actually. When you're passing phone, I'm just thinking whether it is using the tag or whether it is using something else. Okay, so let's say what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to take this part, copy this, and put it somewhere over here, right? Just going to remove this. Yeah. Okay, I think it's doing based on the category itself. This won't be a good thing because obviously inside the UI there's no mobile phone over here, right? I don't think any mobile phone. So uh, there's no. I don't think there's any point in adding all of those things. Okay, cool. So this is good enough. But again, what I'm pointing over here is that I don't want to call this rendering method so many times. Okay, because it's just calling this method so many times whenever I'm typing this. See, it is whatever I'm typing, it's just rendering that method or calling that method so many times. So I don't want to do that. Okay, I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do over here is, okay, and okay, let me also create a fallback also over here. So let's say whatever I'm typing, let's say if it is not matching, okay, if it is not matching, then it becomes an empty string, right? And the screen becomes empty. So what we are going to do is, we're just going to do a fallback. Okay, so I'm just going to also create a fallback screen. So I'll just write over here const fallback screen equals to, this would be a fallback screen. And then over here, what it will do, again, I'll just do products container dot clear the inner HTML, and I'm just going to say const um, fallback container equals to document dot, let's say, create element. I'll just create a container. Okay, I'll just create a container. Okay, and I'll just write over here const or I'll just write it. I just write a text. I'll just say fallback container dot inner text. Okay. Uh, what I'll just write. Um, let's say uh, no match found for the search result. For the search result, please try with something else, something like this. Okay, so I'm just, and then what I'm going to do is whatever this is, I'll just do product container dot append child. Okay, product container dot append child this fallback container. Okay, so how I'm going to render this, I'm going to render it based on the length of the filter products. So I'll say if filter products dot length, if it is greater than 0, if it is length is greater than 0, that means some products are there. So I'll call this method of products card, else I'll call this method of the fallback screen. Just call the fallback screen. Okay, cool. So now let's see. So if I write over here, let's say green. Okay, now when I do GT, so it says no match found for the result, for the search result. Please try with something else. So we have a fallback also. If you want to add an image, you can add an image also. Okay, whatever you want to add. Let's say in this you can just go, or let's say you find an image. Okay, let's say 404. So this basically would be it's like page not found. This is generally for page not found, or so you instead of, let's say if you just write not found, something like not found. Yeah, so you can use these icons. See, this is very good. So if I click on this, so this gives me this copy PNG and something like this. Let's say copy PNG to clipboard. But obviously I just want a URL. I just don't want to download anything, right? If you want to download it, you can download it, right? For now I just, let's say if I just do copy SVG. Okay, no SVG. It is allowing me to copy the PNG, but there's no need. Okay, so let's see if I can create an assets, and I can, if I paste it. Yeah. So I have this. What I did is I just copied the PNG. Over here I've created a folder called as assets. So whenever you want to add images, you just create a folder called as assets, and then let's say rename this, rename not found. Okay, and then over here obviously then I can add image also over here. So everything I'm just creating over here only, right? So let's say I can just add const fallback image equals to document dot create element, right? A container, right? A container, and I'll just write over here fallback image. Let's say this would be fallback image container, and then this would be const image equals to document dot again create element, create element, and then the image, right? And then I'll just do image dot src equals to, okay, so the src would not be a URL now, so the src would be this only, right? So I'll just do, since it's an index.html, so I'll just do hyphen assets hyphen not found dot png. Okay, and then I'll just do fallback image container dot append child, append child the image I'm going to append, and then I'm also going to add this also. Okay, so then fallback container dot append child, I'm just going to do fallback image container. Okay, so if I add any gibberish thing, okay, it didn't add. Let me see why it didn't add. Okay, yeah, because I'm adding this inner text also. So then if I save this, okay, and then if I add something, so I'm getting this image which is way too big. I do not want the image to be this big. So we'll add some style also. So I'll just say fallback image container dot class list dot add, and let's say the width would be somewhere around 12. Okay, so I'll just do w12. Okay, so I think instead of w12, I just need to increase this. So I'll just check the width. So instead of w12, what is w12? It's 48. So let me just make it w20, w20, or it can also be w16 also if it does not go well. And then what I'm going to do is fallback. So I'll also do let's say const text equals to again document dot create element, and this basically would be a paragraph tag. And then what I'm going to do is I'll just go text dot inner text is equal to uh, no match found, uh, please try with something else. Okay, save it. And then what I'm going to do is this okay, fallback container dot append child this text. Okay, so this basically is a fallback text. So whatever I'm writing over here, so it says, it just gives in this way. I can, since it this is the fallback container, I can add some class list also to this. So I'll just do fallback container dot class list dot add, and I'm just going to do flex, and I'm just going to do flex hyphen call, and I'm just going to do justify dash center, and I'm just going to do a gap of, let's say, 4. Okay, and I'm also going to do items dash center. Okay, cool. So now it looks much better. No match found, please try with something else, right? Some search icon. Wow, no match found for the search result. No found for the search, let's try with something else. Okay, good, it's looking good. And whatever we are typing also, it is also working fine. Okay, cool. So the search part is also done. Okay, now what we need to do is, now we need to do the wishlist part also. Basically, if I click on add to wishlist, it should go to the wishlist. Okay, so we have to create a wishlist page also. Okay, so it's becoming good, or it's becoming quite humongous also, right? And obviously we are just going to reuse this part only. We're just going to copy this entire part and we'll just put it over there only, right, for the wishlist also. Okay, so what I'm going to do over here is, or I'm going to write the logic over here only. I'm not going to create any separate index.js for wishlist. Okay, so how I'm going to do is, I'm just going to store everything inside what we say. Just going to store everything inside a local storage for the wishlist. Okay, so and then we will wind this up. So if I click on wishlist, it should go to the wishlist, right? So how will this work, right? So over here, this wishlist button, right? This wishlist button. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to add a event listener to this wishlist button. So I'll just do wishlist button dot add event listener. I'm going to say click, and we will first verify whether it is working or not. So I'm just going to say console.log clicked. Okay, so I will come over here, right? And if I click on the wishlist button, so it says clicked, clicked, clicked also. So with this click, the good part is that we will also have the product also, right? So which what product was clicked and what not. So I'll just create a method over here called as const add product to wishlist. Okay, or instead of add product to wishlist, I'll just create add to wishlist, right? Equals to, this will take the product, whichever product we are passing, right? So what I'm going to do over here is, so over here I'm just going to, okay, I'm just going to call this add to wishlist method, and I'm just also going to pass the product. So whichever product is here, I'm just going to pass the entire product. Okay, to add to the wishlist. What I'm going to do is, we'll use a concept of local storage. Okay, so we know every browser over here, if you go to the application over here, it has this local storage and session storage. Okay, local storage, session storage, right? Everything. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to use a concept of local storage, right? So what I'm going to do over here is, I'm just going to say const wishlist equals to, okay. So firstly, I'm going to try to get the data from local storage. I'll just do JSON. Okay, okay. So what I'm going to do is, whenever I click on any product, I'm just going to simply add it to the wish list, right? I'm just simply going to do what? Add it to the wish list. So what I'm going to do is, okay, so I'll just create an array const wish list equals to, okay, okay. So not over here. We'll just, the way we have created products array, we'll also create a wish list array. List wish list equals to this. This also should be an empty array. Okay. So then what I'm going to do is every time product comes, I'll just add it to the wish list array. So I'll just do wish list equals to. Okay. So over here also what I'm going to do is I also don't want to add any repeated. Okay. So let's see, wish list equals to, I'll just spread this wish list and then we will also, I'll add the product, whatever product I'm getting. Okay. Let me just do a console.log of the wish list. Okay. So if you go over here, if I click on this, so one item is added to the wish list. If I click on this, so if you see, two items are added to the wish list. But if I click on this again is added to the wish list. Once it is added to the wish list, it should again not be added to the wish list. Okay. Once it is added to the wish list, it should again not add to the wish list. Okay. The same thing. So for that, what I can do is I can just say const is in wish list. Okay. Is the item already in wish list? Okay. How do I check if the item is in wish list? I can use sum method of an array. So I can just write wishlist.sum. Right. If you just read about sum and then MDN. So what does it say about sum? It says that the sum method of an array tests whether at least one element in the array passes the test implemented by the provider function, returns true if in the array if it finds element for which the provided function returns true. Okay. So the sum element will just return true or false if any element passes the condition that we are writing. So let's say I'll just take product, right? Okay, or this would be, let's say, item, and over here what we'll do is we'll just say if item dot id. Okay, everything will have an id, right? If we go and see over here, every element has an id, see, and it will have a unique id. Okay, 1 2 3, every element will have an id. Okay? This is very important. So if you see 1 2 2 1, okay, every element has an id. So let's say if item.id is equal to the product.id. Okay, this product id which we are passing. If the item which is there in wishlist, if the id is equal to product id, it will return true. So we'll just say if it is not in wishlist, okay, if this is false, okay, whatever product we are passing, if it is not in wishlist, then only you add it to wishlist. Otherwise you don't add it to wishlist. If it is not in wishlist, then only you add it to wishlist. Otherwise you don't add it to wishlist, right? So now if I add it to wishlist, it is there. If I add this one, there are two items. If I add it again, if I click on this, so if you see, it just gives me the two items only. It is not adding it. It is not adding it one more time. So it is already in wishlist. Okay. Cool. With this method, we can also change the text of this button. What does it say? It just says that it is add to wish list, right? We can instead of add to wish list, we can just write over here add it to wish list. Okay, instead of add to wish list, we can just change the text and we can just say add it to wish list, right? How can we do that? So now to do that, again, I'll just use the same part only because I already have wish list array defined at the top, right? So what I'm going to do over here is I'm just going to create a method which would be wishlist.sum, right? And then over here I'll just write a condition. I'll just say if it is not in wishlist, then you show me this text. Otherwise, I will copy the same text and instead of add to wishlist, I'll just say add it to wishlist. Okay. So if you see, if I click on this, okay, this is add to wishlist, but obviously the text is not going to change, right? Because we'll have to again call it again. So what I'm going to do is again I'm just going to call the products card. Okay, then I'm going to call the products card with the entire products itself. Okay. So if I click over here, so if you see the text is changed to added to wish list. Okay, a deed. Okay, added to wish list. If I click on this, added to wish list, click on this, added to wish list. If I click on this again, nothing is going to change. It's already in wish list or added to wish list, and this is added to wish list. Okay. So whatever is being added to wish list now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add it to the local storage. Okay. Whatever is added to the wish list now. Okay. Let me just chota Let me just make this smaller, and all of these things also smaller. Whatever is added to the wish list, I'm going to store it in the local storage also. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do, if it is already in wish list, then you add. If it's not in wish list, you add it to wish list, and then you do local storage dot set item, okay, wish list, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do JSON dot stringify, and then this wish list. Okay, so if it is not in wish list, add it to the wish list, and then you also add it to the local storage also. Okay, so now if you go over here and if you see the application, okay, so local storage nothing is there. If I click on add to wish list, if you see one is added to the wish list. If I click over here, again it's added to the wish list. Again, if I keep on clicking, it's not adding anything to the wish list. What is the beauty of this part is that if I'm adding anything to the wish list, okay, so what I can do is, since it is there in the wish list, I can just create another wishlist ka container, and then I can just render all of these things. Okay, and then yeah. So over here, what I can do over here is that yeah. Okay. So now things have gone into the wish list, right? Now I want to check it in the wish list, or what I can do is I want to create a wish list page, right? If I click on this, it should basically take me to the wish list page. So how will I do it? So over here, I'll just create another HTML. Let me close this. I'll create another HTML, which would be wishlist.html. Okay. So wishlist.html will have an HTML file, and over here this would be wishlist ecom gfg. Okay, and for this what I can do is I can just write home ecom gfg. Okay, so this is my home ecom gfg, and I'll have a wish list, right? If I click over here, it should take me to the wish list. So how will it go? So instead of this as a button, I can just make it as an A tag. Okay, instead of this as a button, I can just make it as an A tag, and I can just add an href. So I'll just add an href equals to wishlist.html. So now if I click on this, if you see it is taking me to wishlist.html. The route has changed over here. Let me go back. If I click again over here, take me to the wishlist.html. Okay. So what and for the h1 also, what I'm going to do is I'll just put this h1 also into an 8 inside this h1. For this e-commerce also, I'm just going to make this an A tag, and I'll just put this over. Okay, I'll just create an A tag and just write ecom gfg for this also. So inside the h1 there is this A tag, right? And I'm just going to add an href also to this. This will be / that means it's the home page only. So it's just going to take me to the home page. Okay, now if I click over here, it takes me to the wishlist page. Now in the wishlist page, what I need to do is I need to add this header, right, in the wishlist page. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this header and put it over here in the wishlist page. And what I'll do, I don't want any of these things. Okay, I don't want this what do you say, this input. So firstly, I'll just remove this input, the search and everything I don't want. If you want, you can keep it. And instead of this favorite, I just want home over here. Let me just try home. I don't know whether home will come or not. Okay. And then over here, since CSS, if you see for this, the CSS is not coming, right? Why? Because I have to add this script, right? Tailwind ka, and also I have to add this part also. Link all of these style sheet over here, right? So I'll just add all of them over here. Now if you see, it works. And okay, home is also here. Wow, but yeah. So if I click on this, it will take me to home. Flex fix आने की भी जरूरत भी नहीं इसमें. अरे since this is flex, I can add items -center. So if you click on this, it will take us to the home page. So over here, I will add an href. So this href would be // basically means home page. Okay, so if I click over here, it takes us to the home page. If I click over here, it takes us to the wishlist page. Now in the wishlist page, what I need to do is I will create another container. So I'll just create a main container, and the main container, just like this it had an ID of product container. I'll just again give this an ID. Okay, in the wishlist also I'll give it an ID, but over here this won't be products container, this would be wishlist container. Okay, and the way this also has nothing, right? And I'll just use the same class which is there over here, and I'll put the same class over here also, right? And I'll put the same script tag. There's no need for another script tag also. I'll just use the same script tag only. Okay, index.js. What I'm actually going to do over here is, what I'm actually going to do, the way we have rendered this thing, the way we have rendered the uh, wishlist wala part. Okay, so we'll have to render this also. Okay, so const products card. I can reuse this one also. Okay, I can reuse this one also, but I'm going to say I'll just copy this entire part and I'll just say const. I'll just paste it over here and I'll just make this as const wishlist card, and whenever it's added to the wishlist, um, should we create a separate script for this part just to render this thing? Or yeah, let's just create a separate script for the wishlist. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create another. I'll just write wishlist.js instead of index.js, right? And over here, instead of the index.js, I'll just write wishlist.js. Okay. Things will be working the same way, right? But in this wishlist.js, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this entire products card. I'm just going to put it over here in the wishlist.js. And then what I'm going to do is when I call the products card, or instead of this products card, let me just make this as wishlist card. This product is nothing but their entire array. So what I'm going to do is how do I call it? So I'll just do const const wishlist equals to I will first check whether there is data over there also or not inside the local storage. So I'll just do json.parse and I'll just do local storage dot get item the wishlist. Okay, get item this is the key, right? Wishlist is the key. So if you go here, this is the key. So I'm just doing a parse. If it is there, so you do it, or you give me an empty array. Okay, you give me an empty array. So it will pass an empty array over here, right? And then depending on the length of this wishlist, so I'll just write if wishlist dot length, if this is greater than 0, then you call this wishlist card with the wishlist, right? Otherwise, we'll have a fallback screen also. So I'm just going to copy this fallback screen. And obviously, I'm going to change some of the other things. I'm just going to say fallback screen. Over here, I'm just going to say no items in wishlist. Please add items to wishlist. Okay. Okay. Cool. So else what we are going to do is else we will just say you just show the fallback screen. So every time it will go and it will check. So what it will do? So see what we are doing over here. Whenever I'm clicking on adding any product to wishlist. Okay, let me go over here. Whenever I'm clicking on adding any product to wishlist. Okay, so let me clear this. If I'm clicking and adding any product to wishlist, it's added to the wishlist, right? When I go over here, right, over here, so what we want is over here, when it renders, okay, in the wishlist.html, when it goes and when it renders this wishlist.js, what we are expecting we are expecting it to check the local storage. So we are saying local storage.get item wishlist, local storage.get item wishlist, and we are also doing a parse of this. So console.log of wishlist. Okay, yeah. So over here, we also need to get the wishlist element also. The way over here we have done to get the products container. So over here, we'll just again copy this and paste it over here. Obviously, we'll have to add it over here. So we'll just do products container, and what is the ID? The ID is wishlist container. Okay. So here I'm just, instead of products container, I'm just going to change it to wishlist container, because there has to be something where it is added. So if you see, it is added to wishlist over here. If we go back to home, okay, then it is working in this way, right? So over here also, uh, yeah, okay. Now if you see over here, this text is not changing. Add to wishlist. Why? Because okay, even though there is something in the wishlist, but this text is not changing, right? If you go over here, this is fine, added to wishlist, but this also should be added to wishlist only. How do I change it? Why it is not changing? Because every time I come on the index.js, the wishlist is empty. So over here also, what I'll do is I'll first check whether there is something in the local storage or not. So I'll just do json.parse local storage dot get item, and I'll just do wishlist. If it is not there, then you give me an empty array. Okay, then you give me an empty array. So now if you see, it has changed it, added to wishlist. If you go over here, this should not be added to wishlist. This should be removed from wishlist. So I'll just go to the index over here, and over here, what we'll do is there's no need for any condition. There's no need for any condition. What we are simply going to do is we are simply just and there's no need for this wishlist button, add to wishlist. Okay, so instead of add to wishlist, this would be removed from wishlist. Okay, so over here, this wishlist button, this is what added to wishlist. Okay, so we have to just change it to remove. Okay, instead of remove from wishlist, we'll just write okay, remove from wishlist. Okay, and there's no need of any condition also. There's no need of any condition. So if we save it, it just says remove from wishlist. Okay, remove from wishlist. There's no need for this is in wishlist. Now when we click on this remove from wishlist, since I'm using the same thing, this wishlist button over here, I'm just going to create a method called as remove from. I'm just going to create a method called as remove from wishlist. Okay, when I click on the button, it just says remove from wishlist, and then passing the product. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a method over here, which would be const remove from wishlist. Okay, const remove from wishlist is equal to, we are almost done. It will take this product. Right? We just have to do a filter out. Okay, so filter out of what? So over here, I think okay, I'll just do right over here, let wishlist. Okay, so over here, I'm just going to say const filtered wishlist equals to. So I'm just going to filter it out. So I'll just do wishlist dot filter. Okay, so I'll just say item, and I'll just do item dot id not equal to the product dot id. For all the item dot id is not equal to product dot id, give me the filtered wishlist, and then I'll just call the wishlist card with this filtered wishlist, and then I'll just do local storage dot set item wishlist, and I'll just do json dot stringify. I also have to update my wishlist also, so with the filtered wishlist. Okay, that's it, done. So if I click on remove, if you see, that's gone, and it's gone from the wishlist also. So if I go over here, and if you check, if you see only this is added to wishlist, this is not added to wishlist. If I click on this add to wishlist, it's added to wishlist. If you go over here, it's there in the wishlist. If I remove this one, okay, let me go and check. If I remove this, if you see, it is added to wishlist now. If I go over here, and then if I click on remove from wishlist, it's gone from wishlist. If I go to home, this is now add to wishlist, and this is already added to wishlist. Okay. So this is your beautiful project, right? I think if you have any questions, any doubt, you can ask. I am also reading the chats also, do not worry. I'm still there. I'm reading the chats, right? And yeah, so for everyone, I think if you have enjoyed this, so you can go to Geeks for Geeks courses, right? Just doing a little promotion right now. If you go to courses, if you go to the development part, development or testing, there are my courses, right? Uh, this is my course on React JS. It's sort of from basic to advanced. This is a course on JavaScript. It's a complete course on JavaScript from basic to advanced, right? If you click on explore, it has a lot of things. I think this is uh, a very good course because it has, I think, somewhere around 19 to 18 modules, right? If you just see, it has somewhere around 19 modules. You can view the detailed syllabus, right? There are many projects over here. So it's a 50 plus hours live recorded, 50 plus hours recorded content. Okay. I think there are 10 projects altogether inside this. There are so many MCQs, so many problems. So this has interview questions, right? Machine coding round questions, right? It has projects also, and it covers everything in JavaScript. Okay, there's nothing left. Your boy is here, right? And you can finish this in 8 weeks, right? Obviously, it's a recorded course, so you can watch it anytime that you want. And I've got a lot of good and positive feedback on this course, right? Then there is this course on React JS also. You can explore this also. There are multiple projects inside this, and covers a lot of good content. So it is a 25 plus hours content, right? So this is done by me. And then there is we also have this full stack course also. So if you see over here, where is this FSR? This is a live batch. It happens every Saturday, Sunday. This is a live course where it's a 14 weeks course. It takes roughly around 2.5 months. No, not more than, okay. It takes 3.5 months to complete this course. 14 weeks. So every Saturday, Sunday. So that means there are 28 sessions, right? And it's a big number. So the plus point of this course is that you have your live lessons, and then on top of that you get all of the recorded content of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React JS, Node.js, MongoDB. You get recorded content. There are interview questions, there are MCQs, there are questionnaires that we do, assignments also, doubt support also. So there are a lot of things this course offers, and I think this is one of the best courses that is out there. Not because I am teaching, because there are multiple tutors also. If you see, there is this guy Sumit Joshi who has 12 plus years of experience, more experience than I am, right? And so you should, I think, um, if you want, you can just explore this and see, because we have students placed across a lot of different companies. And yeah, there's nothing to lie about it, because it really is a very good course. So if you want to join, right, you can join this full stack development course. I'll just put this link in the chat so that you all are able to see it also, right? And if you want to go through my course, you can go through my course also, right? So let's say, where's my JavaScript ka course? Yeah, this is the JavaScript ka course. So you can have a look at the over there. You'll just find the JavaScript ka course also, right? So yeah, um, that's it from my time. I hope you have enjoyed. You've had a great time. You can follow me on LinkedIn. I'm there on LinkedIn also, right? So I think yeah. So I'll just put my LinkedIn also. This is my LinkedIn. You can follow me on LinkedIn. We can connect on LinkedIn, right? So yeah, that's it from today, right? I'll see you next Sunday. Coming Sunday again, we'll have some of the other things planned. Probably we'll start with React JS, and then we will move a lot. We'll deep dive into what React is. We'll start with basics of React, going to the advanced part of React, and then we'll also do some projects also in React. So don't miss coming on every Sunday. And if you go to Geeks for Geeks ka YouTube channel, and if you see, you'll see a lot of live session that I have taken. So, and I think you'll definitely enjoy it. So that's it from my time. I will see you. Bye bye.